now I'm going to put on my official voice because I really would like to hear the former defensive back in you come in and take hold and grace us in the football church of Weapons Hot in just a little bit. But now I have to get my official announcer's voice. Attention, attention. The NFL has determined that NFL referees are now going to be on the lookout for more illegal contact penalties. This basically means that the pussification of the NFL continues to run rampant as far as throwing flags. Pretty soon, an NFL football game will look like nothing more than a laundry toss match. Mr. Jackson, please give us your thoughts on the said illegal contact rules that will be taking place this upcoming season in the NFL.
I can most definitely see your point. I do think that it may have an adverse effect on what wide receivers get away with. If they are going to adjudicate it fairly, as a DB, guys easily get away with pushing off quite a bit. And if that's the case, then I think that, you're going to see some instances where there's going to be guys that push off and it's going to take points off the board because that they'll throw that flag. They'll bring that play back and whatever outcome would have been fleshed out by the illegal contact made by the offensive player. I think that's going to be difficult to kind of measure. So I don't like it, but I mean, I get it. You are spot on when you say that they're really kind of ruining the product with as much as what it is that they're doing here. And I don't think it's just going to affect rookies in particular. I know that there are some veteran guys that have been technicians at what it is that they do and being able to kind of grab on the slide when you're tapping that hip, you know what I'm saying? I think some of that might end up, resulting in penalties. This actually sounds like a rule that probably towards the end of the season is going to create some difficulties. It's going to create some horrible takes, but it'll stay on the books just because, the league wants to see more points. And if they feel like what it's going to do is it's going to create some mismatches because DBs are going to choose not to try to engage as tightly as they normally would. And I don't know, it's really difficult to say in this. I see where you're going with it and the pussification, I guess, if that's the word that you used, if that's real. But I do think it's also going to affect the offense. And I think that is probably going to be where the NFL is going to end up having to really question their decision on this rule.
My turn to talk about this little rule, which I actually talked about a little bit with Mr. Scott Calispi off the air today because he was the one who actually brought this to my attention. So, again, thank you as always, Scott, for bringing some good stuff to the table. Give us some stuff to talk about here tonight. Now, as far as the NFL going out of its way now to instruct referees to start looking for more illegal contacts, that's probably the biggest bunch of bull I have ever heard in my entire life. And the reason being is because there is going to be so much illegal contact going on. The whole purpose you have a 5-yard chuck rule is so that way both the receiver and the defensive back are trying to get position on one another. Does that contact translate past 5 yards? Absolutely it does. So basically what you're telling me is that 80 to 85% of offensive plays are probably going to end in a penalty. If there is any type of contact at any point that the receiver is interfered with, that the defensive back is interfered with, this is an absolute slippery slope that the NFL is trying to navigate. Because this is going to affect both sides of the ball. Not just one. It's not just going to affect the cornerbacks. It's going to affect the wide receivers as well. Because the wide receivers are not going to be able to push off. The wide receivers are not going to be able to hand check. The wide receivers are not going to be able to hand fight, to go up and get the ball without some sort of flag coming out because of illegal contact. You know how you fix this? You extend the chuck rule to 10 yards. Hand slap, push off, check, elbow, whatever. If that's what they got to do, that's how you increase the chuck rule.
I wish. Nah, that kills the offense. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'd mug somebody, man. I'd take all their jewelry, wallet, everything within the first 10 yards. Gotta be butt naked before he gets into the break. And you already know they want the quick releases. They want all of that stuff. If you got 10 yards, you're dragging a guy when that slant is normally open or when that quick hit is normally open without penalty. And that kills offense. That is going to completely jam the offense. So I don't know if the NFL would look kindly on that. But as a DB, I'd love it. Please implement that rule. Every cornerback in the league would sign off on it. Trust me.
Here's the thing. The NFL may as well turn, if they seriously are going to go through with this, I could see this rule lasting maybe 2 to 3 weeks before somebody complains. And then ratings start to drop because instead of watching 30 to 24 football games, we're watching 10 to 7 because there's 50 penalties on each side of the ball.